Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien pendant cette période estivale. Voilà, nous vous avons prévu un programme qui retrace tout ce que nous avons partagé comme Connecting Day depuis le mois de janvier jusqu'au mois de juin. Vous allez voir ce soir donc une des journées que nous avons eues de telle sorte que vous puissiez la revivre et pourquoi pas trouver des partenaires et aussi élargir votre marché sur le pays qui a été cité ce soir. Hello everyone, I hope you are good during this summer. We have prepared for you, the connecting days that we started since January until June. So we hope that we will have a good program and you will enjoy this country that you will discover, and maybe you will have a lot of contact just to make business in this country. So we give you rendezvous after that just to be in contact with you. So have a good program. Bon programme et bon Connecting Day. Au revoir.
Bienvenue à Connecting Days, organisé par Continental Working et ses partenaires. C'est une plateforme qui vous apporte les meilleures relations d'affaires avec le continent africain. Hello and welcome to Connecting Days, an event organized by Continental Working and its partners. There to help you to create the best relationships with the African continent.
Hello, Connecting Ethiopia. Good afternoon. My name is Yifru Tafasa. I am the Deputy Director General of the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight. Perhaps to start my presentation, the Ethiopian economy pretty much dependent on agriculture. About 32% of the GDP comes from the agricultural sector, and over 85% of the export earning is also generated from agriculture. It employs over 70% of the population, and also it's one of the sector is pretty much dominated by smallholder farmers. 95% of the farming produce is generated from smallholder farmers. So we are pretty much an agrarian economy. However, in the past 10 years, the sector has been growing tremendously. The agricultural sector has been growing on average of 5.5% per annum, and that has been quite encouraging. But still, we have a lot to do in terms of transforming the agricultural sector. To this end, the Minister of Agriculture has embarked on reforming and bringing about a number of reform agenda. There are about 10 reform agenda items that has been presented to the Council of Ministers for ratification. The first area of policy reform has been the land use and natural resource administration. As you very well know, land and natural resource utilization is a key in this country, so we need to do also a reform in our land holding system. Technology inputs and service sector reform has been also there. We have a number of initiatives to reform in the sector also regarding technology adoption and also input provisions in the sector. Water use is another area that we have embarked on, and that has been also, the sector has been very much rain-fed. So we have embarked on irrigation schemes and water utilization policy framework. That's an area also that needs approval from the government. The other is output marketing. We have also a number of initiatives under that thematic area. So the fifth is rural transformation. we cannot envisage, transforming the agriculture sector without taking into consideration the whole holistic approach in terms of, addressing issues on rural level. So that has been also one of the reform areas. Infrastructure development on rural areas is also one of the policy initiatives. Private sector development in agriculture has been also one of the another area of intervention that the government would like to engage. Of course, the smallholder farmers are private owners, but we never had a huge, commercial farmers in place. And the participation of private sector across the value chain has been limited. So we want to encourage the private sector and support, to invest in the agricultural sector across the value chain. Agricultural finance is one of another area of intervention that the government would like to pursue. Although the country produces generates over 90% of the exports from agricultural sector, the finance that goes back to the agricultural sector is limited. It's less than 10%. So we have a policy reform agenda on agricultural finance. The 9 thematic areas: institutional development. We need to reform institutions that support the implementation of all those policy framework, right, from federal to regional level. Institutional reform will be taking place. And another last but not least is the cross-cutting policy initiatives, such as climate and gender issues will be addressed. So in order to transform the agricultural sector, those 10 thematic areas of policy reforms have been quite instrumental, and we are awaiting the government's approval on those policy reform areas. Now, when it comes to the agricultural opportunities in this country, as I said, the sector has been is being dominated by smallholder farmers. We have little commercial number of commercial farmers investing on this space. Therefore, the role of a private sector in investing in large-scale commercial farms is very much encouraged, and we're here to support any investor in that space. When it comes to industrial agro-processing areas, we have 4 integrated agro-industrial parks across the country that are, very much furnished with all the necessary facilities. The investors can only come and plug and operate their own factories on a number of agro-processing investment areas. For example, Ethiopia imports literally many of the quite substantial amount of agro-processing products from the Gulf countries, from Europe, from other African countries. If you take, for example, milk, we import milk, especially the UHT milk, we import from Europe. We did not have a processing industry that produces this kind of quality products. We import, fruits from Europe and Middle East countries, while the country is one of the largest producer of fruits in the country, all types of fruits, in the tropical fruits in the region. So these potentials are literally untapped for potential investors, be it in fruit processing, be it in juice form or cut fruits. That's a huge opportunity that we offer to our potential investors. The packaging industry is one of the virgin areas. Little has been done so far. Packaging, we still import packaging material from Europe, from Middle East, and from other African countries. So with the growth of agro-processing products, we need to have quality packaging materials in order to export and also use for local consumption. If you take, for example, for honey processing and honey packaging, we don't have a food-graded packaging materials available in the local market. The other big opportunity area is meat processing, red meat processing. That is, despite the fact that Ethiopia is the leading producer of livestock, we still are a net importer of meat, red meat products. And there is a huge potential in the livestock sector to be it in modernized sectors to breed. That's an area for opportunities for potential investors. The other area of investment opportunities are the poultry production, both chicken and egg. Again, the local market is extremely undersupplied. We import chicken. The Ethiopian Airlines itself is a huge importer of chicken from abroad. That itself is a huge market for any investor in that space. Currently, the price of egg in this country is, I would say, is one of the most expensive, commodity on earth. An egg costs us 20 cents, and this is, I believe, is one of the highest price in the world. It's because there is no adequate supply of egg products. That's again a huge, to mention some of the huge opportunities in the market. In terms of even green field investments on agriculture, we are a net importer of grains such as wheat. We import over like $400 million of wheat per annum. So investment in wheat field is a huge opportunity for any investor interested in commercial farming. Perhaps in terms of while these are the some of the opportunities that I'm sharing, I will share a deck that we prepared in collaboration with the Ethiopian Investment Commission, some of the investment opportunity areas in agriculture and agro-processing to you. Perhaps in terms of challenges, you may anticipate, inefficient bureaucracy could be one of the challenges that you may face. But we at the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation have been supporting plenty of investors, both local and international investors, in terms of navigating through the bureaucracy. We've been, providing handhold services. I myself joined the Ethiopian Agricultural Transformation Agency as a director for private sector development in agriculture. And I've been supporting such as wort malt and soufflet of the world. These are the top 5 giant producers of malts in the world, and they both have invested in Ethiopia. It's mainly because of support we have provided to those giant institutions. We've been supporting them through the investment ecosystem and through the bureaucracy in order to smoothen and facilitate the investment process. So we will support any investor in agriculture and agro-processing that is that joins the Ethiopian investment opportunity. So it won't be a problem in terms of the bureaucratic hurdles that you may have, but just to highlight some of the challenges that you may anticipate. So we have lengthy process and inefficient bureaucracies. Of course, if you come short, perhaps shortage of foreign currency is a problem for local investors, but for any foreign investor that comes with a foreign currency, won't be a problem at all. Shortage of power is another area that you may face, but again, if you are investing in integrated agro-industrial parks, there is a secured power line to those industry parks. If you are interested to invest out of the industrial parks, again, we will provide the necessary support to make sure you are connected with the power grid. And hopefully, the power shortage won't be a big problem come the GERD project operational, sometimes perhaps middle of this next year. That won't be a lasting problem as such. Security issue has been some of the challenges that has been raised so far. Yes, in the past there has been sporadic security issues here and there, but thanks to our firm government commitments, we have now after the election we will have a solid and stable Ethiopia. So that won't be a problem because we have still a number of investors, both local and foreign, that are operating in Ethiopia, and recently you might have noticed there has been nothing as far as their their investment, properties are concerned. So that it's the government's priority and commitment to make sure all investors' interests are protected appropriately. So these are some of the risks and challenges you may face. But again, as far as the bureaucracy, lengthy, inefficient processes, land issues all those problems are going to be addressed with our reforms that we have embarked. So I think this is just a high-level explanation that I'm providing. Please feel free to connect with me with my email address to Connect Ethiopia, and I will share also some of the investment opportunities that we have developed in collaboration with the Ethiopian Investment Commission to you. So for further analysis. I thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Hello, my name is Blaine Tesfaye, and I'm a co-founder and managing partner of True Love Granola. First, I'd like to say thank you to all of our friends, family, and customers that have supported us over the years. And for those that don't know much about True Love, we're a small business that was started about 3 years ago to bring healthy snacks to the Ethiopian market. We were founded by myself and my husband, Kifle. Hi, babe. Over the past few months, True Love has been hit hard by the COVID pandemic. We've lost a significant majority of our sales due to most of our clientele having left the country. And it's important to us to continue to support our employees and not leave them jobless. However, we know that this won't be sustainable moving forward. And that's where we came up with the idea for this campaign.
ሰላም ሄለን ፈቀደ እባላለሁ ፕሮዳክሽን ማናጀር ነኝ የጀመርኩትም ከጽዳት ነው ትሩ ላቭ ለኔ ብዙ ለውጥ ያየሁበት ዕውቀት ያገኘሁበት ነው
We created the Share Food Share Love campaign to help support our business and an organization called Tikruat Lesetoch. For example, when you donate $35, you fund the production of 35 bars, which we'll donate to vulnerable women and children. And 20% of that donation will also fund the donation of necessary materials like diapers, oil, and sanitary pads as per the organization's need.
ስሜ ሲስተር አሳየች ይርጋ እባላለሁ የትኩረት ለሴቶችና ለህፃናት ማህበር መስራችና ዳይሬክተር ነኝ ፎከስ አድርገን የምንሰራው ሴቶችንና ህፃናትን በመደገፍ ያለውን ችግር ለመፍታትና ወደ ተሻለ የህይወት ደረጃ እንዲደርሱ እና ጥሩ ህፃናቶቹ ጥሩ ዜጋ እንዲወጣቸው የምናደርግበት የስራ ሂደት ነው ይሄንን የመሰለውን አገልግሎት ደግፋለሁ ብሎ ለተነሳሳና ለሚያስብ ሰው ልቡንም እጁንም እንዲዘረጋልን እጠይቃለሁ ምክንያቱም ሁሉ ሰው ካልተረባረበ ይሄንን አስቸጋሪ ጊዜ መወጣት ስለማይቻል በተቀናጀ መልኩ የምትችሉትን ሁሉ ታደርጉ ዘንድ በትህትና እጠይቃለሁ
Again, thank you so much for your support over the years. We really appreciate it and we look forward to seeing you all on the other end of these challenging times. Please remember to stay safe, wear your masks, stay home as much as possible and eat granola always. Thank you. Hello, Connecting Days Ethiopia. My name is Blaine Tesfaye, and I'm CEO and co-founder of True Love Granola, based here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So True Love was founded about 5 years ago. And originally, I started this based on a really personal need. I had hunger for something healthy, but also convenient on the go. And there was not much here in the Ethiopian market for me. There was a lot of biscuits and chips and things like that. So I started making granola at home. So granola bars and bites. And soon I learned that a lot of other folks were facing the same problem that I was in terms of needing something a little more healthy and natural, but also convenient to take on the go. So I went into creating the True Love brand and product. And we started with a small team of 3 or 4 producing our granola bars and bites in my husband and my small apartment originally. So from there, we got a few small orders, got a bigger order eventually, and the client asked us to see our production space, at which point we decided we needed to move out of our apartment and get a real space outside where we could produce, but also sell our products and distribute our products. So we got a small space in Sarbet, Addis, and from there started producing, started selling out of our store, got more customers, and got our grounding as kind of a real business here. So over the years, we've been growing. We've grown into new spaces. We've added employees. So we're up to 12 women employees now. I do have one male employee, but we keep him around anyway, even though he's not a woman. It's been a wonderful journey of growth. So every year we were growing until, of course, so we moved into continually bigger places where we could produce, sell out of a small storefront, and also, store our products that we distribute to supermarkets and hotels. So it's been a really exciting journey of growth every year. We have about 12 employees now. All but one are women. We have one male employee. He is stuck with all of us women. We run the show here. And it's been an exciting journey to witness this growth. And not always easy, of course. Every phase of our growth has had its. So we've been growing over the past few years. We moved out of our apartment into a small 18 square meter space and have grown into slightly bigger spaces over the years since. And it's been nice to grow our team from 2 or 3 people to now we're a team of 12, all of whom are women, except one who's been with us from the start and is stuck with us ladies. So it's been really exciting, really challenging, and each phase over the past years has had its own set of challenges, whether in the beginning it was just how do we get the right business license for the business we're trying to do. We had a few false starts with government agencies and the folks helping us getting wrong business licensing types, these sort of things that would just hold us up and frustrate us. But now looking back, it seems so minor and not important. But over the years, there's new challenges, whether it's hiring employees, firing employees for the first time. We don't like to do that often, but sometimes there's a need. Building a team that is united towards a goal and the vision that we're working on, which is ensuring all Ethiopians have access to healthy food and nutritious food, while also supporting women in our team and sourcing our ingredients sustainably. So that's kind of our vision, and it's important that the people that work with us, learn to understand and share this vision and want to be a part of a team that is ambitious, working towards that. Because like I said, our team was small at first. We were in an apartment and, our team was like, what is this thing called granola we're making? They had no idea, but they had to believe that, I had a sense that there was a market, that there was a plan, that this was a good product. And, over the years, we've seen our business grow. I think one of the biggest recent challenges for us has been the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of our target market was impacted because a lot of our customers were tourists or foreigners residing in Ethiopia. And during the pandemic, a lot of that kind of disappeared. And that was tough for us. I mean, we had to make some tough decisions. Do we close? What do we do with our employees if we decide to close? Is there really a future for our business? And through answering these questions, we came to the answer, or again, yes, we believe in our business, we believe in our vision, and we got creative with our team, creating new products, creating new fundraising mechanisms. And I think that was a really tough but affirming kind of moment for us as a team. And now we're in 2021. We know the pandemic isn't over. Our business isn't all back to where it was before. But I think we're reinvigorated with a vision for the future in which we're growing, we're scaling, we're seeking out funding. And we just got our first real kind of substantial grant from an organization or from a fund called the Innovations Against Poverty Fund. And that's been a huge win for us and is a stepping stone to where we want to go in terms of supplying Ethiopia, East Africa, and eventually the world with snacks with Ethiopian flavors and great nutritional value. But we are looking to fundraise more in the future. This was just the start, but yeah, until now, it's been also quite challenging to get financing as a small business in Ethiopia. A lot of investment is done by foreign investors, and that is not available unless foreign investors are willing to invest a pretty high minimum in an Ethiopian company. And for smaller companies, it can be hard, one, to justify giving up a large portion of your business, but two, for it to be worth it for investors to invest, large amounts of money into these smaller businesses. So, there has kind of a gap between, moving from a small business to a growing business because, there aren't these smaller financing or equity type structures really available unless we look at local investors, and that scene is just starting to exist and starting to flourish. So hopefully we see more Ethiopians looking to invest in Ethiopia. But I know also foreigners, there's a lot to learn about Ethiopia. We're very unique in a lot of ways. We have unique challenges. We have some similar challenges to the rest of Africa, but also some unique challenges. And I think my advice for anyone looking to do business in Ethiopia, invest in Ethiopia, or just get to know the country is to come visit, get to know our people, get to know our history, and that's the best way to learn about what opportunities there are, what it's like to do business here, what the challenges are. Because the challenges are numerous, I can say, but the opportunities for impact and growth are also huge. That's why people like me do what we do, because we see a bright future. We see an opportunity to make a difference, an opportunity to create value, and to contribute to Ethiopia's growth. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Beza. I am from the African Circular Economy Network. I'm the current country representative for Ethiopia. And it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon to share with you what we've been doing for the past 5-6 years. And I look forward for fruitful engagement. So I'll start with demystifying what circularity is, the new buzzword in the town. Circular economy is just an economic system aimed at designing out waste or eliminating waste and ensuring the continual use of resources. It's a system that employs designing of products and services which can be reused, shared, repaired, refurbished, remanufactured, recycled, to create a closed loop system really, and minimizing the use of natural resource input, especially the extraction of virgin raw materials and the creation of waste, pollution, and carbon emissions at the end of the life cycle, of the product. In a nutshell, it's about regenerating natural capital, creating jobs, and generating wealth. Our vision statement at ACID is to build restorative African economies that can generate well-being and prosperity, inclusive of all its people, through new forms of economic production, in this case, circularity, and consumption which can maintain and regenerate environmental resources. This is our vision statement. ASIN is a network of networks. It's a non-profit company registered in South Africa in 2016, and our aim is to promote the African circular expertise within the continent and beyond, of course. We have, it's a Pan-African organization. We have 100 country representatives in 30 chapters, and we try to bring in as many expertise as possible, whom we believe are the drivers of circularity in the continent. Could be policy designers, product designers, waste management, agribusiness, urban development, literacy. In a nutshell, let's just say anything. Circularity is a cross-cutting issue, and we do believe that bringing as many expertise as possible can bring the transformation in a much fast-tracked and efficient way. So we try to attract as many expertise as possible. These are the list of African countries that we are working on in right now, but the aim is to bring all 53 African countries on board. The concept of circularity is honestly not that really brand new in the continent. There are a lot of initiatives in different countries which focus on components of circularity, not the whole picture, but part of it. Could be environmental roadmaps and policies, single-use plastic bans, electronic waste decrease, green economy plans, and in countries like Ethiopia, for example, we have climate resilient green economy, which is working to make sure that the country is elevated to middle income status by 2030, and using sustainable climate resilient strategies, of course. So it's not new, honestly. The difference or the gap here is the key for circularity, which makes it different from green economy, is it's about the designing of products so that the waste is not generated in the first place. It's not about making sure that you dispose the waste or treat the end of life products sustainably, or reuse it back or recycle it or remanufacture or refurbish it, but it is about making sure that the design aspires so that the waste itself is not generated in the first place. So that part requires capacity. By capacity, I mean technical capacity, institutional capacity, financial capacity, even inspirational capacity, honestly, to make sure that we design products and services which are circular. So that's the part that's really missing in Africa, and that's what we want to plug into the system. These are a list of, as I said, a lot of things happening in the continent. We try to map it with the Footprints Africa. You can find this. I'll share the link, this presentation with the team, with the organizers, and also you can find it on our website. This is a dynamic map showing different circular component activities across the continent in different sectors. We at ASIN believe that partnership is key to bring the change required in a much more efficient and faster way. So we collaborate with international organizations and economic organizations, mainly the African Development Bank, the UNECA, Circular Economy Platform, European Union, and the UN Environment. We make sure that we stretch as much as possible to reach out to relevant stakeholders to create a partnership which can be strategic to transform. So we also work with governments, for example, the ASEA, it's another similar organization like ours, but they focus on the governments. They work with Nigeria, Rwanda, and Africa, so we have their strategic alliances in their mission. We work with academia. We also work global in close collaboration with international networks like the Holland Circular Hotspot, and the McCarthy Foundation, Circular Economy Club, and others, honestly. What's happening, this is in a nutshell that what we do in ESIN, but in general, what is happening right now in the continent is a lot of policy intervention, partnerships, knowledge management, research and development, capacity building, and business model designs are being developed by various actors, and it is really with the objective of making sure that Africa is on board in this transformation, in the global transformation time. African Union Commission is developing a continental roadmap, which is due October 21st, 2021. It's to shape the role of Africa to have a common vision, context, perspectives, and comparative advantage, and how we can best leverage the circular transformation so that we can benefit all the presumed opportunities coming along. Countries like Morocco and Senegal are developing circular roadmaps and action plans. Some others are also revising their respective nationally determined contributions of climate change and adaptation and mitigations in line with circular economy concepts and principles, obviously to find opportunities and develop adaptation mitigation solutions and strategies which are supposed to be emanating from circularity, embracing circularities. It's the same story also with the development partners. They're forging alliances, partnerships, both among themselves and with their bilateral counterparts, respective countries, to maximize impact on the ground. Non-governmental actors like ourselves and ASEA Platform for Accelerating Circular Economy is really actively engaged in creating awareness and advocating about how the continent can embrace circularity. The most interesting thing happening is business associations are encouraging their members to make sure that, in general, the continent of Africa is on the consumption end of the global value chain, and of course raw material supply, but then more value is generated during the production process and manufacturing process. So how can we produce circular products and services which can fit into the global value chain and get the maximum economic value out of the system, so out of that chain? So to do that, businesses, small businesses, or even industrial parks can also be a good starting point. So taking that into consideration, business associations in the private sector are trying to, consider this line, mainstreaming circularity in their production processes and services. Most notable ones are the African Business Council, the recently signed African Continental Free Trade Area. These are the notable ones, but then there are small-scale interventions across national commerce, like associations of chambers of commerce or something like that. Good majority of them are embracing this idea. Capacity building, as I've said, there's a need for developing an Afrocentric curriculum and module at all levels of education, high school, higher education, professional courses, and training for ecosystem providers, which are actively supporting the entrepreneurs and business community. AMF, Ellen MacArthur Foundation, with the African Leadership Academy, are taking the front seat in this regard. The other most important thing taking place right now is there's a lot of intensive scoping studies done by various stakeholders. So the objective mainly is to understand what is there, what are the enablers and barriers on the ground, and what will motivate, and drive the transformation of African economies towards circularity. We also did one with the Rhinomics, Netherlands-based organization, to synthesize 9 reports. One is an overall continental report. And we did a specific deep dive studies for Kenya, Morocco, Rwanda, Egypt, Nigeria, Senegal, Ghana, and South Africa. You can access these publications on our website. As I've said, the objective of these ones is to know what potential is there in the continent and what would really be the barriers of the bottlenecks to achieve or to unlock those potentials. This is my last slide. I'll make it very short. I would say one of the promising nodes or platforms mushrooming in the continent of Africa are innovation hubs and business accelerators. So these nodes are platforms or mediums where young graduates with innovative ideas or aspiration come together to change those ideas or incubate those ideas into products and services and monetize them into business models so that they could generate income for themselves and create jobs for themselves and also for their fellow graduates, and in the process reduce the percentage of unemployment and generate wealth. So the numbers and facts and figures coming out of this hubs is what really speaks same language with policy designers and decision makers to create to support these initiatives, incentivize them, and create that enabling infrastructure so that they could really inject their own contribution towards the economic development that every government, every African government is hoping to bring on the ground. So these hubs are also places where ideas like circularity, circular products and services can be hatched or incubated and can be good showcases of best practices that can drive the transformation, honestly. Private sector's role here is key because public sector can't support all initiatives, obviously. So unlocking the private sector's role, for example, SMEs make up 90% of the business, and they also employ 50% of the community, especially the young generation. The private sector can have or have the capacity to inject the required capital for exploring or taking the risks for new products and services, like circular products in this instance. So they will risk the investments required for designing innovative market systems. They can also play a key role in forging partnerships with the public sector to tap into the procurement capacity, to enable the procurement capacity to endorse circularity. So the potential of the private sector is something that shouldn't be overlooked, and of course it's not overlooked because governments are really making quite a tremendous effort to encourage the private sector to be part of this journey. For example, ASEA, African Circular Economy Alliance, recently released a report highlighting the 5 potential sectors that can be used as that have the potential to mainstream circularity and bring the required change. These are the food systems, the built environment, fashion and textile, electronics, and packaging. These sectors can actually be the low-hanging fruits that can be used as I would say the sectors that could be focused to mainstream circularity and bring the numbers and figures that would convince every stakeholder to be on board when it is about transforming towards circularity. So this is in a nutshell what we've been doing in what we're doing in ASIN. We recently also launched a partner organization with Trinomics, African Circular Economy Network Foundation. So at the foundation, we do businesses in supporting not only the knowledge sharing or advocating and awareness creation, but we also do concrete projects and incubate business accelerator capacity building trainings on the ground, so that we not only talk or inspire and advocate and lead, but we also want to make sure that that one is cascaded to the grassroots level private sector SMEs, especially to mainstream circularity in their production system. Thank you once again. Thank you very much for inviting us, and our door is open for a discussion. You can either reach us through email or please feel free to go through our website and be a member of our network. Thank you.
Eh bien, merci d'avoir participé à cette réédition des Connecting Days estivales. Nous espérons tout d'abord que cette réédition vous a plu et nous vous invitons à prendre contact avec nous pour toute question, mais également si vous souhaitez que l'on mette votre pays en avant. Thank you for attending this re-edition of the Connecting Days. We hope that you will enjoy this event and you find the information you needed. Please let us know if you have any questions and also if you would like for us to advertise the country. We hope to see you soon. Have a nice day.